guys, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to do a video for anybody that has nerve pain. I'm going to tell you what happened with me, and I want to see if I can help someone, because I know many people that were misdiagnosed. Now, when I was starting to get nerve pain, I saw many rheumatologists. Yes, it does come with autoimmune, but this was before I ended up being diagnosed with autoimmune. They told me I had fibromyalgia. Now, I want to let you know, you can walk into the office and tell somebody you have nerve pain. They do some pressure point touch and they'll tell you have fibromyalgia. There is absolutely no real testing for fibromyalgia. If you look it up, it is the most so common thing to be diagnosed with, because the second somebody hears nerve pain, they tell people they have fibromyalgia. Now, they told me I had fibromyalgia. I took it. I dealt with it. Now, these are the symptoms I dealt with. It wasn't just nerve pain, like fibromyalgia so-called is. It felt like my whole body was being electrocuted sometimes. I would wake up with electric shock pain going through my entire body. Now, I'm a single mom of 2 boys, and there's a lot of things I suck up. And I still do, take my kids to swimming and take my kids to tennis and work with their school projects. And I'm a very dedicated mom. Like, my life revolves around them, and I would, die if anything happened to them. I don't think I could live without them. But I'm also allergic to the sun. I've noticed that when I went out in the sun, I would swell within seconds. Actually, if it was hot outside, I didn't even leave my house yet, and my whole body would react. It's like now that it's starting to get warmer, my body's starting to do it. So now my doctors are on guard, because I almost end up hospitalized every year, or do end up hospitalized, or almost die. Now, not only do you swell really bad, well, I do, I break out in hot heat rashes. My skin is actually hot to touch. When this first happened, I actually only got diagnosed, it was almost 2 years ago, with small fiber neuropathy. Now, my autoimmune doctor now, Dr. Shapiro, who is a scleroderma specialist, he's been Doctor of the Year many times with Scleroderma Foundation. I mean, he's amazing. If you do live in the Albany area, he now works with Albany Med. And he was in Saratoga, but now he's in Albany Med because they gave him a spot to where he can help doctors that want to know about scleroderma, because in my region, he's the only one that knows about it. And he's the only amazing doctor. He's done books. He's done so much things. But before he retires, he wants to teach people. So there's a scleroderma clinic now, and he's trying to teach people and do all that, which I think is incredible, because if he goes, so many of us are screwed without him. And he was the only one that saved my life. When he diagnosed me with small fiber neuropathy, now remind you, it is not just a quick, simple test. It is a biopsy, guys. Now, when I tell you my symptoms that I went through, if you were going through it, talk to your neurologist. If he doesn't listen, talk to your autoimmune doctor, rheumatologist. Talk to somebody who will fucking listen, because I went through 9 damn rheumatologists, and they all freaking ignored me. Did a little fucking squeeze test, and because I have nerve pain, of course it's gonna hurt. They're like, oh, you have fibromyalgia. I almost died because of them. I almost died. Now, the biopsy's done on, say, your right wrist and your left ankle. It will be sent out to the Mayo Clinic or wherever else they do it. And mine got sent to the Mayo Clinic, and it automatically came back a strong positive. Now, the reason why they do it on 2 ends of the body is because one part of your body can be more affected than the other. Me, it was my entire body. I was already late diagnosed, because everybody misdiagnosed me because they hear nerve pain, they think fibromyalgia. So when doctors sometimes get lazy or uneducated, they don't tend to give people the truth of what could be. And there's also large fiber neuropathy. Now, small fiber neuropathy is the small peripheral nerves inside of your organs, your skin, your body, everywhere. It is the peripheral nerves that control, move, all that stuff. And with it can either come excessive sweating, or for me, for severe cases, I don't sweat at all. And I mean at all. Like, you could put me in a sauna and I wouldn't sweat. And that's another indication I knew something was wrong. And that's when I told him, and I was like, listen, I know I don't have fibromyalgia. And I actually have the note on my fridge, so if anything happens to me, people could show it. That, it's so much more. He even said in there that it's, when the biopsies came back, it was a strong, strong positive. And he wrote in big letters, you are misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia because nobody wanted to do the work. And that is a frickin' fact. And I'm tired of people being misdiagnosed. I mean, people in the autoimmune world, people with diabetes. People with diabetes can get this. Like, it's so diagnosable. I mean, it's a freaking biopsy. It's a skin biopsy. It's a skin punch biopsy. They numb you completely. You're awake. Clearly, it's only a punch biopsy. A dermatologist can do it. It is so simple and easy, completely pain-free, because they numb you freaking amazingly. But your reaction to this, like my reaction to the sun, is undescribable. Like, even the essence of humidity makes my body freaking lose its shit. It's insane. Sorry, my camera's falling. But the reason I'm talking about this is because I know somebody that was recently misdiagnosed, and I was helping her, and I'm the one that gave her her voice and tell them what tests to do, and she was diagnosed properly. And that's what bothers me, because some doctors are lazy. It doesn't matter whether it's a primary, a neurologist, a rheumatologist. It doesn't fucking matter. There's good and bad people everywhere in every profession. You know, some doctors, yes, get bad raps, and they're like, oh, doctors, you know, they can kill people. Yeah, they can, but everyone can kill anyone. But there's bad and good people in every profession. It doesn't matter. So people shouldn't judge me. I've had a lot of bad experience with doctors, but I do have an amazing team now that I would trust them wholeheartedly with every ounce of my being. Because it took me years to find amazing doctors. And you guys got to realize one thing, that you hire them. You can fire them. There's a lot of people that get intimidated by doctors and they're like, oh, okay. You know, they just follow their lead. No, you ask questions. It is your life at stake. It is your health. If you don't feel that what they're saying is correct, you need to tell them. And if they're still, like, not even hearing you, because I've been through doctors where they just ignored me, or they, like, snickered. That pissed me off. A couple doctors were snickering at me because I was talking to them before I got diagnosed with autoimmune. They told me I was making it up. So I fired them, and I just kept going and going. And what's crazy is I was going to stop at, you know, I was going to give up. Like, why am I going to keep going through rheumatologists? Like, nobody cares. Maybe it is in my head. Maybe it is whatever. I mean, I was fine one day, and the next day I'm a fucking hot mess. So I don't know what the hell happened. And I do know they did tell me that extreme stress that I was going through with my ex and court and all that crap, and the person I was dating at one point, I was extremely stressed out. Extremely stressed out, where it actually brought out a dormant, like, my diseases were dormant, well, except for lupus. That was kind of obvious I had lupus, but scleroderma and my other ones were, like, dormant until I became extremely stressed out. Like, I mean, it's a stress, like, you're gonna lose your shit stress, like, badly. And it's, like, months. It went on years, and it ended up bringing it out. So it's a pain in the ass. But if you have, you know, photosensitivity, if you have swelling in the heat, and I mean, you don't even have to be outside. The essence of the heat will make you swell. I mean, there's so many indications, like you're not sweating, or you have, not sweating is more like severe, it's rare cases like mine, but excessive sweating is actually one of the main things people talk about. If, you know, you'll notice it. In the summertime, there's a difference. I mean, if you have nerve pain and it stays at nerve pain, then it could be, yes, fibromyalgia. But if you have way more beyond than just frickin' nerve pain, fight for your damn diagnosis, because it's your life. And I almost died because of it. I ended up in malnutrition. I ended up with ulcers everywhere. I mean, I was dying. I lost 80 pounds in a month and a half, 2 months. It was bad. I was basically bones. And I went to the hospital to get help. I was in malnutrition. My ketones were at 18. And the doctor's like, oh, you're making it up. It's just chronic pain. You're fine. First of all, what is just chronic pain? Second of all, that's a shitty ass thing to fucking say. I would not come to a hospital and waste my fucking time. But he was like, well, is it like you just want pain meds or something? I'm like, I have a medical marijuana license that I don't even use. I'm like, and I have pain meds. I don't come here for fucking pain. I'm coming here for your help. I even flat out told him, I don't want your freaking pain meds. I want you to save me. I need someone to help me, to stop the burning, to stop, you know, when I eat, I freaking want to die. Like, I just want the fucking help. And only my primary seemed to have cared. And right after I went through that and I was starting to get myself back on track, that's when my scleroderma doctor put in for that biopsy to get done. And the woman that was a neurologist that was doing the biopsy, she actually, it was like 90 degrees that day. She saw I was swollen as fuck. And I mean swollen. Like, I couldn't wear sneakers. I couldn't even wear my flip-flops. Like, I had to go into the thing. I was swollen. And my skin was like, I'm not talking about light touch. I mean, it was massively hot. Like, you know how, like, you touch concrete in the heat, hot? It was that hot. It was, like, really ridiculously hot. And I was like a tomato. And she's like, I can tell you right now you have it. But we have to do the biopsy. She's like, you know, it's ridiculous. Now, the meds that I'm on is Lyrica. I've been on Lyrica actually way before I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And which I don't have, by the way. I have small fiber neuropathy, which is severe and deadly. And, you know, Lyrica, I gotta say, out of all my meds I'm on, besides Dexlant for my GI system, but Lyrica's the only thing that's helped me. I mean, I've tried to get off it, maybe try a different one, but I couldn't. The pain was so bad. I mean, before I was even on meds, I couldn't even hug my kids. I would cry from pain. And I couldn't move. Like, I don't know, it sucked. And my primary knew I had something wrong nerve-wise, so she automatically had me try Lyrica. And I gotta say it worked. I mean, yeah, you have side effects for the first 2 weeks. Obviously, you have a foreign substance in your body. You're gonna have side effects with any medication. And side effects don't mean you're allergic to it. Side effects means it might happen because it's new to your body, and your body has to get used to it. Side effects do go away with every medication. But, sorry, fixing my towel is driving me nuts. OCD. But Lyrica did work great for me. I mean, I know some people that say they don't like Lyrica because of the side effects of when you first start it, but Lyrica saved my life. And I'm on 375 milligrams a day, which is actually a high dosage. And my nerve disorder is now affecting many other things, to where they're now going to test me for even more shit. And my spine is crapped out because I also have ankylosing spondylitis like my son. I have herniated discs, I have disc degenerative disease. Like, I have a fucking line of shit. I got RA, I got arthritis everywhere. Like, for 33 years old, man. But you know what? I don't give up. You know, when I first started my whole autoimmune journey, it was so easily to get depressed. Because you're like, why the fuck me? Why do I have to go through this? What did I do to deserve this? And it consumes you. But after I went through that whole malnutrition thing, it awoken something spiritually in me. Like, it made me, God gives you one life, or whatever you want to believe. It gives you one life. You get one life to live, and that's it. Instead of living day by day in a rut, or, you know, people can be clinically depressed. Yes, my sister is, and, you know, many other people I know is, and I also have generalized anxiety. So, yeah, you can't just turn off depression. But I'm talking about my situation with me being depressed with my autoimmune, not my autoimmune causing depression. It's me being depressed because I have autoimmune. So don't get anybody confused on that. I'm not saying you could just shut off depression. I'm saying with the situation of me being depressed because of everything I was going through, I wanted to turn such a shitty negatives of everything I was going through into a positive. So that's when I decided to do something that makes me happy. Like, I was going to start up yoga and, you know, to help the stretching because my body needed it. Clearly, I was tightening up. And, you know, exercise more and just find something that makes me happy inside, you know. And I wanted to help people because more than anything, I want to take my shitty shit that I go through, and I want people to understand that they're not friggin' alone. They're not. That's why I make this YouTube channel. That's why I make a crap load of other frickin', you know, Facebook support groups, because I want to help at least somebody. I don't want them to feel alone. I want them to have a friend they can, even when they are depressed, they can come to, you know, either to hear them or to make them smile or to give them confidence or to realize that you guys are badass warriors. You're survivors. You made it this far. And, you know, something I always believe, not everyone else, but I always believe that God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. And I don't consider myself a survivor. I consider myself a warrior. Because every day I battle this shit. And every day I do everything I have to do to raise my kids, or, you know, to put them in the right direction. My whole life is centered around my kids. I would give up anything for them. And there's nothing to that. That's why it's like now with my son being sick, it's like after midnight where I am. I mean, I'm constantly looking after them. Even without them being sick, I go in their room like 20 times a night to make sure they're breathing. And no matter how old they get, I'm still going to do that. My kids gave me something I never knew I wanted. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot family connection when I was a kid. And, you know, they gave me a family thing I've always wanted. That unconditional love no matter what. And to have a bond and be close and do fun, you know, family things together. And I'm so blessed. And even though I have shitty diseases and illnesses, I don't care what I go through. But knowing that my youngest has an autoimmune and, you know, he has a heart problem and my oldest has asthma bad, and I'd rather make sure that they're good. They have their whole life ahead of them. And I'm glad I got my youngest diagnosed early because I knew about autoimmune and I knew what to look for. And my youngest don't complain. So I have to guess just by looking at him. And I had him diagnosed early to where he can be managed. But now, you know, the ER doctor thinks he's progressing. And Friday we go to the doctor to see his rheumatologist. And I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. But I wanted to make this video about nerve disease and to fight for your life. No matter if it's diabetes or cancer or autoimmune or whatever you're going through medically. Whatever you feel inside, even with dentures, it doesn't matter. Fight it. Because you hire doctors, you can fire them, you can find a new one that can actually help you and listen to you because your voice fucking matters. Find the confidence deep down somewhere or practice slow by slow, but just know that you matter, your life matters. Everything matters about you. Fight to be fucking heard. Because I was never heard until I just fucking said screw it. And I just fired everyone. And I just kept going and going and going until I met a doctor that said, hey, I have a friend that I want you to meet. He goes, I think you might have scleroderma, but don't quote me on that. I want you to meet him. He's a specialist for it. He would be able to tell you. And within 10 minutes, he diagnosed me with diffuse scleroderma after 5 years of fighting to find out what it was. And 9 rheumatologists later. Never give up. Never give up. No matter what you do, don't ever give up. Because you will figure it out. You will get there. I know it's hard because some doctors make you feel like it's in your head. And they start to make you feel more depressed. And I was in a dark place. I was in a depressive, suicidal place before I was diagnosed because I figured nobody would ever help me and that the quality of life I'm going to have is not good for anyone. And there was something inside me that made me fight it. Maybe it was because of my kids watching me get sicker and sicker every day and, you know, seeing their faces or the freaking dire need I needed to be around for my kids to see them grow. Or maybe it was God saying, Heather, get the fuck up, you can do this, keep fighting, don't ever give up. But it's like one day I woke up and I was like, we're getting this done. I don't care who I gotta go through to get to it. And I finally found the right doctor. So don't ever give up. Ever. So I just wanted to make this video, and if whoever watches it, I hope I help someone. You know, don't take fibromyalgia as the answer. Because it could be something like worse what I had. And I don't want you to go through that. Nobody should have to go through what I went through. It was indescribable. And I just want to help someone. Because fibromyalgia is not even diagnosable. Everybody knows who got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. They know that they just touch, you know, the tender spots of the joints, which could be anything, and they get told they have fibromyalgia. I mean, I know people that didn't even have fibromyalgia. They either had cancer or something else, and they were put on nerve medications when they didn't even need it. So, I mean, fight it. If you have something else, more other symptoms, write it down. Because, I mean, I forget a whole bunch of shit. So I actually wrote everything in my book of what I felt, you know, when I felt it, what times of days. Like, I was very specific. But I'm going to make this video shorter. Sorry, guys, it was so long. But I just want to let you in my world a little bit and tell you what I went through, and maybe I can help someone. You know, if you guys ever want to talk, my email is byrnes1223@gmail.com. Write down in the comments below if you want me to do any videos on certain things or more details of the difference between small and large fibromyalgia. And any comments, questions, or concerns, just comment below. Like the video if you like it. Share it if you need to help somebody else out who's going through something. And let's just share love to each other. Let's be there for each other, because that's why I do these videos. Is, you know, I try to be as transparent as possible that you guys see through, so, you know, maybe I can help someone. And I just want to help you. And if you want to email me anytime to talk. I'm always here. I have other support groups you're more than welcome to be a part of. I hope you guys have a good night. God bless and stay safe.